Okay, our today's topic, that is diencephalon. So I have discussed in my previous class about the basal ganglia. So basal ganglia, it is for the smooth control or performance of the motor activities. I have already said. So diencephalon, it is in reverse, that is it is related with the sensory innervation that is reaching to the higher centers, that is ultimately what we are thinking or what we are going to perform or execute via the heart center, that means the brain. So here the brain is receiving fibers from the diencephalon. So what we are thinking or what is processed in the brain, that is ultimately it is processed, or it is here the fibers are reaching to the brain via diencephalon. So if the diencephalon, if it is defective, obviously here there is the defect in the sensory performance of the brain, okay, or of us. So here all the things that is occurring, that is in the where that is in illusion, or that is the hallucination, or that is in case of that is the dreams, or where that is we are having the personality disorders. So all these things, they are due to the defect in the thalamus, or the pattern of formation of the here the thalamic synaptic relay, defect in the synaptic relay center, defect in the formations of the synaptic thalamic synaptic relay, or the synapses that is formed in the thalamic nuclei. So all the human beings, they are different. Here the pattern of the synapses or the arrangement of the cell pattern along with the synapses. So here the personality of every person, here they are different from each other. So this is about the here the key features of the diencephalon. So what are the parts of the diencephalon? So diencephalon can be here, that is as per the here the functional considerations. So these are the group of nucleus, arrangement of the group of the nucleus. The diencephalon, it may be either the thalamus, number one, that is thalamus. I have already shown this diagram. So medial to the internal capsule and on either side of the third ventricle. So this is the third ventricle. So on either side of the third ventricle, so here the large group of cells on either side, here you can see. So this is the thalamus, okay. Now behind the thalamus, on either side behind the thalamus, on the posterior aspect of the thalamus, there are the two group of nuclei. So in relation to the midbrain, I have already said, so medial and the lateral geniculate bodies. So medial and the lateral geniculate bodies, okay, for the here the relay center for the visual and the auditory fibers. So medial and the lateral geniculate bodies, they are grouped together. These are called the metathalamus, okay, metathalamus. So they are in the posterior aspect of the thalamus. So what I have said, so diencephalon consisting of number one thalamus, ঠিক আছে, number one thalamus, number two posterior aspect of the thalamus consisting of the group of nuclei, medial and the lateral geniculate bodies. These are together, they are called the metathalamus. Now here in this diagram, here this is the mid parietal section of the brain, where you will see below the fornix. So this is the body of the fornix. So here the septa through which the here the telachoroidea of the third ventricle that is entering, and below that there is the floor of the here the third ventricle, okay. So floor of the third ventricle, so that means floor, that means it is situated on either in between the thalamus, I have already said. So if you cut this section vertically, so what you will see, laterally there is the thalamus. So this is the interventricular foramen of Monro, just below and behind the here the fornix. So this is the interventricular foramen of Monro, by which the two lateral ventricles are communicating here, that is the lateral ventricles are communicating with the third ventricle, okay. So if you connect the third here the foramen interventricular foramen of Monro with the that is the aqueduct of Sylvius. So if you connect this by one, that is the one line, so above there is the position of thalamus. So group of nuclei, they are above this line, these are called thalamus, and below this line this is called hypothalamus. So you should remember this diagram, okay. So in relation to viscera, I will show you. So this is the thalamus and this is hypothalamus, okay. So what is the position of the hypothalamus? So it is the here below the line joining the interventricular foramen of Monro along with the aqueduct. upper portion of the aqueduct. So by this joining here, this joining line, below the joining line, this is the hypothalamus, above this, that is the thalamus. Okay. So again I am concluding. So what are the different parts of the diencephalon? So diencephalon is formed by the group of nuclei. So as per the function as well as the position of the here this group of nucleus, they are number 1 thalamus, number 2 that is thalamus. This is here also in this diagram, that is thalamus. Here thalamus will be look like this. So posterior part of the thalamus, which are where it is consisting of medial and the lateral geniculate bodies, these are called the, that is the metathalamus. Now this is the hypothalamus below the interventricular foramen of Monro. Okay. Now there is here what you will see, that is the pineal gland. So pineal gland, it is in case of human body, it is not having any functions. So if this pineal gland, they are connected with the here the thalamus, that is posterior portion of the thalamus, by the two, here you will see the upper and the lower lamina. So upper and the lower lamina, they are passing through which the two commissural fibers are passing to each cerebral hemispheres. Okay, to two cerebral hemispheres they are connected by. So upper one is habenular commissure and the lower one is the posterior commissures. So these pineal gland along with the two commissures, they are forming the epithalamus. So epithalamus. So epithalamus, it is important only in relation to that the commissural fibers, that is habenular commissure and the posterior commissures. There is no other functions of the pineal gland in case of human body also. Okay. So thalamus, so diencephalon consisting of, in case of human body, thalamus, hypothalamus, epithalamus consisting of the pineal gland and the two commissures, and the metathalamus consisting of medial and the lateral geniculate body. Okay. Now about the thalamus. So where the thalamus is situated, first thing, on either side of the here the third ventricle. ठीक है, and here below the head of the choroid nucleus, medial to the here the internal capsule, medial to the internal capsule. Okay. Now so this is the position of the thalamus. Okay. Now if you see how the thalamus is formed, so thalamus, this is the diagram along with the group of nuclei these are having. So here for your curriculum and for you, what is important, that is thalamus, first it is divided into the dorsomedial group of nucleus and here that is the lateral group of nucleus. Okay. So dorsomedial, that is the dorsomedial on the medial aspect, by the here you will see the internal here internal medullary lamina of the thalamus, internal medullary lamina of the thalamus, this band of fibers, these are white fibers, they through which here the few communicating fibers are passing in between the two thalami. So here medial to this there is the dorsal medial lemniscus, it is communicating with the amygdaloid body, amygdaloid body. Okay. So you should remember amygdaloid body, this word amygdaloid body, it is important to us. Okay. Here the control for the limbic function of the here the hippocampal formation I will come. So here medial one, it is communicating with the amygdaloid body. Okay. Now here in the anterior part, anterior group of nucleus, and posteriorly in between the two medullary laminae, here the internal medullary lamina of the thymus, it is thalamus, it is divided into here the anterior part and the posterior part. Okay. In the posterior part, here the two medial and the lateral geniculate bodies are present, which are communicating with the visual areas and the auditory areas, I have already said. Okay. Now here in between these, so here what we will see, so this is the in the lateral portion, so there is the lateral dorsal group of nucleus and the lateral posterior group of nucleus, and in the here the lateral side also the ventral anterior group of nucleus, ventrolateral group of nucleus, and posteriorly the ventral posteromedial, ventral posterolateral group of nucleus. These four nuclei you should remember. So ventral anterior, ventral lateral, ventral posteromedial, and ventral posterolateral group of nucleus. So this diagram here you should practice it very carefully. Okay. So what are the group of nuclei? So among these what I have said, so all the nuclei for your undergraduate course, it is not so much important for you, but posteriorly metathalamus, that is positions of the MEGB and the LGB, you should remember, and the ventral anterior group of nucleus and ventral lateral group of nucleus, these are important for the control of the basal ganglia. So here what we will see, so the efferent fibers from ventral anterior and the ventral lateral group of nucleus, they are reaching to the area number 4 and 6. So this is important. So basal ganglia, in relation to basal ganglia I have already said, so from the basal ganglia afferent fibers are reaching to the thalamus. So here the fibers are, what are the fibers, that is from the globus pallidus here and the substantia nigra, these fibers are reaching to the ventral anterior group of nucleus, Ventrolateral group of nucleus where there is the substantia nigra, globus pallidus along with dentate nucleus of the cerebellum. They are giving the afferent fibers to the ventrolateral group of nucleus. So ventral anterior ventrolateral group of nucleus, these are very important in case of human being for the control motor control, for the motor control from the higher center. Okay, so ventral anterior ventrolateral efferent fibers are going to area number 4 and 6. Okay, now ventral lateral group of ventral posterolateral group of nucleus where the fibers are reaching, that is the medial lemniscus. Here I have given arrow. So from the medial lemniscus and the spinal lemniscus, here these fibers they are here relating to the ventral posterolateral group of nucleus. Ventral posterolateral group of nucleus, the afferent fibers to the ventral posterolateral group of nucleus, medial lemniscus and spinal lemniscus. Okay, ventral posteromedial group of nucleus, they are receiving fibers. Afferent fibers ki ache? So here that is the spinothalamic tract. This is very important. That is trigeminal lemniscus and the spinal, that is the spinal. Here trigeminal lemniscus and the solitariothalamic tract, it is very important. That means the test fibers they are reaching to the ventral posteromedial group of nucleus. Ventral posteromedial group of nucleus, it is receiving fibers. Afferent fiber ki ache? So here that is the trigeminothalamic tract and the solitariothalamic tract. Solitariothalamic tract, these are afferent fibers. Afferent fibers to ventral posterolateral group of nucleus, that is medial lemniscus, spinal lemniscus. তাহলে from these ventral posterolateral ventral posteromedial group of nucleus, these are giving efferent fibers through area number 312. So hair center 312 to the brain. From thalamus the fibers are reaching, that is to the area number 312. So because of this I have already said, so ventral anterior ventroanterior ventrolateral group of fibers, they are giving efferent fibers to area number 4 and 6. So higher centers 4 and 6, they are controlled via VA and VA lag, VA ventrolateral and the ventroanterior group of nucleus. Okay, ventral posterolateral and ventral posteromedial group of nucleus, they are controlling area number 312. So these are very important. Okay, so this is thalamus. So here from this what you will see, so these are the abnormality that is seen in case of, that is the sensory innervations of the brain. That means if you the patient is complaining of, that is frequently they are having some, they are hearing some abnormal sounds, or they are hearing some sounds that is from god, like this they are saying. Okay, or they can see the abnormal presence, that is which is not present really. So all these things they are occurring, or if they are taking sweet, so they are having some, they are provided there are some sweets, they will say that is it is not having any taste, or it is salty in nature. So all these things they are defect in the this group of nucleus. Okay, so these are very important. Along with there what I have said, that is the amygdaloid body. So here along with that is the cingulate gyrus, this is anterior part, I have not said for you. So this is the amygdaloid body anterior part. So all these fibers they are controlling the limbic system. Okay, so limbic system, it is almost all the pleasure of human body, that is you are taking food, you are enjoying by seeing some movies. So all these things, or your that is the here the entertainment part that is required for the daily life or living, that is provided via this limbic system. So if the limbic system is affected, obviously patient will go to the depression. Okay, so obviously this group of nucleus, amygdaloid and amygdaloid body, here the dorsomedial group of nucleus, they are controlling the here the, that is the part of the limbic system. Okay, so these are also very important. Okay, so thalamus if it is affected, obviously patient will suffer from the sensory disorders. Sensory disorders, the patient will complain of abnormal feelings, abnormal sensations. Also all these things they are coming from either the thalamus or the area from the 312, that is 312 is receiving some abnormal sensations. So from where the abnormal sensation coming, what I have said, that is the afferent fibers, they are coming to the brain via thalamus. So if the thalamus is affected, obviously the brain is receiving abnormal sensations. So there is no here there is no problem with the brain, but the problem that is actually with the, that is the diencephalon. So it is important to us. Okay, now so in relation to the hypothalamus, what I should say, so the position of the hypothalamus I have already said. So it is below the thalamus, below and ventral to the thalamus, below and ventral to the thalamus, and it is below the interventricular foramen of Monro up to the, here the line joining the interventricular foramen of Monro up to the aqueduct. So this is the position of the hypothalamus. So hypothalamus, it is again very important to us. Why? Because here hypothalamus, it is the group of nucleus which is controlling the viscera, all the visceras. Okay, so this is very important. So we are taking foods if we are hungry, we are taking water, drinking water if we are having or we are thirst, we are having we are thirst or we are having thirsty, or we are being thirsty, we are taking water. So all these things. Okay, so after that is few amount of foods or water, then we are becoming, that is the saturation center that is stopping us to take the foods. So all these things they are occurring via this that is hypothalamus. So hypothalamus, before starting the hypothalamus, here few things you should remember. That is the hypothalamus, it is divided into here the medial group of nucleus and the lateral group of nucleus. Okay, so it is again consisting of the group of nucleus. Okay, functionally they are consisting of group of nucleus. So I have given here different colors. So what you should see, that is the hypothalamus is pierced by the body of the fornix. So this is the position of the body of the fornix. So by the position of the fornix, so hypothalamus is divided into the medial half and the lateral half. So this is the medial half, this is lateral half. Okay, so what are the group of nuclei? These are present. So you should remember few group of nuclei, few group of nuclei. Okay, so number one, that is the preoptic. Number one, preoptic. This is the supraoptic group of nucleus that is just above the, that is the here the optic chiasma. Optic chiasma, just above the optic chiasma there is the supraoptic group of nucleus. Another large group of nucleus. So one is the paraventricular, another is anterior group of nucleus. Paraventricular, another is anterior group of nucleus. Okay, now in the intermediate part, in relation to the body of the fornix, here there are the dorsomedial group of nucleus, dorsomedial group of nucleus. Another one is the ventromedial group of nucleus, ventromedial group of nucleus. These two are very important. I will come. So now you should remember these nuclei. Now there is the another group of posteriorly, there is very good important nucleus. So this is the posterior group of nucleus, red one, posterior group of nucleus, and laterally on the lateral part there are the tubular group of nucleus. So it is tuberomammillary or the tubular group of nucleus, and this is in the lower part, that is the mammillary group of nucleus. So these are very important. So laterally there is a large group of nucleus, that is the tuberomammillary or tuberal group of nucleus, and this is the mammillary group of nucleus. So these are on the lateral part, and here on the posterior aspect, medial half, that is the medial posteromedial group of or the posterior group of nucleus. Okay, so these are group of nuclei, few group of nuclei you should remember in relation to the hypothalamus. Okay, now so here functionally what is important I have already said. So this anterior group of nuclei, that is the preoptic or the supraoptic group of nucleus or the paraventricular group of nucleus, they are parasympathetically controlling the viscera. Parasympathetic. So parasympathetic innervations of our body or the body organs, they are done via this nuclei. Again, one thing that is very important you should remember along with this, that is the preoptic supraoptic group of nuclei particularly, and the here the that is the dorsomedial group of nuclei, they are highly surrounded by the highly complexed blood vessels or the capillaries. Okay, so these are ultimately here doing the secretions, and these secretions they are ultimately stored in the, that is the hypophysis of the pituitary gland. So these nuclei, they are also controlling the secretions of the hypophysis of the pituitary gland. So these are very important. Okay, so number one, so anterior group of nucleus, particularly preoptic supraoptic, they are parasympathetic innervation of the body, number one. Number two, along with the here the other anterior group of nucleus, তার মধ্যে কি কি, that is the here dorsomedial group of nucleus, and the here the ventromedial group of nucleus, along with the here that is the other anterior group of nucleus. They are highly complex blood vessels, they are surrounding this group of nuclei, and these are secreting the hormones which are stored in the hypophysis of the pituitary glands, from which ultimately if these are stimulated, so obviously here there is a secretion of the pituitary gland. So pituitary gland is controlled by this group of nucleus. Okay, now the posterior group of nucleus, that is the posterior, this one lateral tuberal or the tuberomammillary group of nucleus, they are sympathetically innervating the viscera of the organs, sympathetic innervations of the organs of the viscera, that is via this here the posterior group of nuclei. Okay, so among this group of nuclei, here you should remember number one, that is the ventromedial group of nucleus. So this is the ventromedial group of nucleus which is called satiety center, number one. which is called satiety center. So you should remember. Okay, so ventromedial group of nuclei, that is called satiety center. That means here when we are having the satiety, so that means we are taking food, then after a certain period we are, that is not having the here the willingness to take the food. Okay, so here that means here the center becomes saturated. So this is the satiety center. So if the ventromedial nucleus, this nucleus, if it is stimulated, obviously patient is not having any willingness to take the food. So this is the ventromedial group of nucleus, particularly it is the satiety center, number one. Number two, another important thing, that is here, so this nuclei, it is the feeding center, lateral tuberal, or the here, that is what you will see, that is the lateral group of nucleus. This is the posterior group of nucleus. So this is the tuberomammillary group of nucleus, this is mammillary group of nucleus. So this lateral tuberal group of nucleus, so here this is the lateral tuberal group of nucleus. So here what you will see, this group of nuclei, these are called the feeding or the that is the hunger center, feeding or the hunger center. So this posterior group of nucleus, if these are stimulated, obviously if they are stimulated, so patient will take much more food, or patient will have the, that is the willingness to take the food. Okay, so this is the feeding center. Okay, now so hypothalamus, anteriorly this is controlling the parasympathetic innervation, posteriorly this is having the sympathetic innervation, you should remember. Anterior group of nucleus along with the here the ventromedial, dorsomedial and the paraventricular group of nucleus, they are also controlling the here the hypothalamus. Okay, so these hypothalamic connections with the pituitary gland, so hypothalamus pituitary axis it is formed here. So in gist, if I consider the functions of the hypothalamus, so what you will see, the functions of the hypothalamus, so here this is the hypothalamus. So hypothalamus here, it is giving fibers or receiving fibers to the thalamus. Okay, so the higher centers from the hypothalamus, the fibers cannot directly reach to the brain. So you should remember this one, brain is controlled via thalamus. So hypothalamus is giving fibers to the thalamus. Okay, or thalamus is reciprocally giving fibers to the hypothalamus to control it. Also what is brain is receiving, brain is giving the directions, so these directions are reaching the hypothalamus via thalamus. Okay, so hypothalamus from the lower centers, okay, from the spinal cord, from the brain stem, they are receiving fibers via the amygdaloid body. So you should remember this diagram. So hypothalamus is connected with the amygdaloid body. From the amygdaloid body, here the fibers are reaching to the hypothalamus, or from the amygdaloid body directly it is reaching to the thalamus. Okay, now this amygdaloid body, it is receiving fibers. Here you will see I have given here, that is the noradrenergic fibers or serotonergic fibers from the brain stem. The amygdaloid body, what I have said, these are the ascending fibers from the brain stem. These fibers are either the noradrenergic and the serotonergic fibers. Okay, now from the substantia nigra or the zona incerta, that is the midbrain portion, or from the brainstem reticular formations here, or the autonomic nervous plexus of the brainstem, here the fibers are going to the amygdaloid body. These are from the brainstem. The fibers are either the that is the reticular activating system, or that is the brainstem reticular activating system, or from the here the substantia nigra, or from the autonomic plexus in the brainstem. Okay, or from the here, that is the noradrenergic serotonergic fibers from the brainstem, they are all reaching to the amygdaloid body. Okay, from the amygdaloid body, here the sensations are going to here the thalamus. Okay, now from the here the hypothalamus is giving fibers. Can you see? So hypothalamus are giving efferent fibers. What are the efferent fibers? Number one, you should remember, that is to the pituitary gland. So this is the pituitary gland. So hypothalamus efferent fibers, that is number one, that is the pituitary gland. Okay, number two, that is the pituitary gland, that is the here the pituitary portal vessels of the pituitary gland. So I have given here number one. Number two efferent fiber, that is to the here the brain stem, or that is the substantia nigra of the midbrain. Number three, to the here reticular activating system. Number four, to the autonomic nervous system or nervous plexus of the brainstem or the spinal cord. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are the efferent fibers. Okay, so efferent fibers are going to number one, the portal vessels of the here the pituitary gland, number one. Number two, that is the that is here the substantia nigra brainstem. Number 3 to reticular activity system. Number 4 that is to the here the autonomic reflexes of the brainstem and the spinal cord. Okay, now here the reciprocal control of the hypothalamus, what I have said to the hippocampal formation, so it is very very important, that is the limbic system. So hypothalamus, it is reciprocal, it is control. So hypothalamus is, that is where you are having the mood, so this mood to take the food or to enjoy something. So here all these things they are controlled by the limbic system of the hippocampal formation. So hypothalamus is reciprocally controlled, okay, by the hippocampal formations, that is amygdala body, septal areas, piriform lobe. So these are all are forming the hippocampal formations, okay, so the part of the limbic system, okay. So this is the control of the hypothalamus. So hypothalamus, this is the function and the control of the hypothalamus. This diagram you should remember, this diagram you should remember, okay, this is very very important to us, okay. So here it is about the hypothalamus, okay. Now what is the blood supply of the hypothalamus? So blood supply, I have given this diagram. So here this is the circle of Willi. So here it is the middle cerebral artery, okay, this is the internal carotid artery. So I have mentioned here 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6, you should remember. So from the middle cerebral artery, number 1, from the middle cerebral artery, so medial and the lateral striate branches, they are giving direct branches for the here the anterior portion of the thalamus hypothalamus, okay. Number 2, from the internal carotid artery, anterior choroid artery, from the that is the middle the internal carotid artery, the direct branch that is to the here going to supply the medial portion of this, that is the anterior choroid artery. From the posterior communicating artery number 3 and 4, from the posterior communicating artery number 3 and 4, from the posterior communicating arteries, okay. From the posterior cerebral artery, here there are the posterior carotid, there here the posterior choroid artery, and that is here, that is the thalamic branches, it is coming from the posterior part of the here the thalamus, here the thalamus and the hypothalamus or the epithalamus, this portion it is coming from here, that is the posterior cerebral artery, okay. So posterior choroid artery, another one thalamic branch, thalamic and hypothalamic branches, they are coming from the posterior cerebral artery. So 1 2 3 4 5 6, so 1 and 2 it is from the middle cerebral artery and the internal carotid artery, okay. 3 and 4 it is from the posterior communicating artery, 5 and 6 from the posterior cerebral artery. So this diagram you should remember, thalamus and the hypothalamus. So these are very very important for the here the sensory control as well as that is for the visceral control. So these are very very important to us, so you should go very carefully this diagram along with the text, okay, so along with the applieds. So it is very very important to us. Thank you.